So, back for another VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Alolan Ninetales. This is easily one of the best support Pokemon in the game. Like, no question about it. Aurora Veil itself is fantastic support, being able to reduce the damage, getting Reflect and Light Screen, 2 for 1, really, really strong. Obviously, the snow has to be up for that to be the case, and a lot of people are going to have Rain Dance and Sunny Days here and there, but that's when you just Encore them turn 1. They always just go for their Rain Dance for their Sunny Days, and then they get Encored, and this is specifically Tornadus, mostly Tornadus, then they get Encored into that. If they Tailwind turn 1, then they're also Encored into that, and then they become useless. So it's really, really good support for this Ninetales. Icy Wind, great speed control. With Stab, it actually does a significant chunk of damage, and Helping Hand so that you can enable the other Pokemon on your side of the field, because Ninetales is not really supposed to be the damage dealer. It is fantastic support. Also, this is absolutely the correct item on Ninetales. I'm not hearing anything else. Light Clay, yeah, that's fine. It's reasonable. No way. Covert Cloak is absolutely the correct item. So I brought this Ninetales to a regional, the Lille regional. This was the exact Ninetales that I brought to that tournament. And Covert Cloak was just absolutely fantastic. Main thing, obviously, is you're immune to Fake Out. We've seen Covert Cloak on Tornadus before. And they just become immune to Fake Out. They can't stop your Aurora Veil. Yes, you lose 3 turns of Aurora Veil. That was the least click moved on my Ninetales throughout that tournament. So Aurora Veil is great, but not the only thing that Ninetales can be doing. The other support is amazing as well. Covert Cloak, absolutely fantastic. But added bonus is that things like Landorus Rock Slide can't flinch you. They can't brute force their way through your Ninetales. You're getting that Icy Wind off to be able to KO them, and then you just Icy Wind and KO them the next turn. So it's brilliant. Covert Cloak, fantastic. Also, I got faked out 3 times in Open Team Sheet. Like, this was Open Team Sheet, and people still fake me out because they're so conditioned to think that it's like Clay, and even though they had right on the sheet in front of them, this is a Covert Cloak Ninetales, you should not fake me out. I got faked out 3 times during that tournament, and also I got faked out loads during the practice before it with the Open Team Sheets on the here as well. So yeah, Covert Cloak, easily the best item. Obviously, there's all the other benefits of the secondary effects that don't happen with thanks to the Covert Cloak and all the poisons, Sludge Bombs, and whatever as well. Mainly fake outs, and people still fake you out because they're so conditioned to Light Clay. Covert Cloak is absolutely fantastic. Light Clay is still great. Still like an A tier item for Ninetales. Not quite S tier of Covert Cloak, but it's still absolutely worth considering. Some teams will benefit from Light Clay if they're like superly bulky? Super bulky, probably is the sentence I'm looking for. Like if they're going for like bulk up and calm mind, I'm going to bulk myself out and you can't KO me anymore while I set up kind of thing. Light Clay is probably more beneficial there, but Covert Cloak, that's probably more slappable onto a team. Here are some other support moves that are absolutely worth considering on Ninetales. So Encore Disable is a very good combination as well. You can just disable them in the first place, even without Encore would be worth considering because there's a reasonable amount of choice Pokemon in this format. Fake Tears and Helping Hands, that's the debate between the two because obviously Ninetales is going to be able to outspeed a reasonable amount of Pokemon. Like 109 base speed is pretty reasonable. You're outspeeding the Chi-Yus and stuff, you don't need to go faster. And you don't want to speed tie with other Ninetales because you want to know that you are definitely going to Encore them while they Aurora first and then you Encore them. I can't remember what the spread does. I made it for Lil. I trust my past self. You should trust as well. So, yeah, the Ninetales are going to be able to outspeed a reasonable amount of your own Pokemon and Fake Tears, but otherwise Helping Hand is perfectly viable as well, and that is what I lent towards with mine. Physical attackers can benefit from it as well. It's worth mentioning Hypnosis as well, because that is a very good move when it does land. It is very shaky accuracy. There's a reasonable amount of gravity Pokemon that could be used with the Ninetales as well. Like Sandy Shocks is electric type, Ninetales is ice type. That could be a reasonable combination to go with, but spamming Hypnosis when Ninetales would otherwise be doing pretty much nothing on the turn, that is a viable strategy. Terra Ghost is worth considering on the Light Clay version, because then you can become immune to Fake Outs. It should be Terra Water on the Covert Cloak version, because that's the best defensive typing. You don't need Terra Ghost anymore, because you're immune to Fake Out regardless. The offensive Ninetales is also worth considering too. We've seen a Choice Specs Ninetales pop up successfully on the ladder recently. Going offensive with Ninetales is worth considering. You actually OHKO a reasonable amount of things with Blizzard. Like, Landorus is just OHKO by Blizzard. Urshifu is OHKO by Moonblast. Things like that. So you can actually pick up some significant KOs if you are going full offensive with the Ninetales. Some teams benefit from that more than the pure support of the Ninetales. So on those kind of teams, Life Orb Blizzard, even Choice Specs Blizzard, that's definitely worth considering as well. That will be able to do some significant damage. Spamming Choice Specs Blizzard, Life Orb Blizzard, whatever, is definitely going to be very viable. So this is not actually a recommended moveset for the Life Orb one. Not quite for the choice specs either. Could be, but Terra Blast over Ice Shard for sure. But these are just moves you should be considering if you are on using an offensive Ninetales. Blizzard is worth considering even just on the support one as well. I probably wouldn't go with Moonblast or Freeze Dry on the support one, unless your team is absolutely weak to combo. If you don't have Moonblast on your Ninetales, then I wouldn't recommend it unless it's on the offensive one. Blizzard can definitely fit onto fit over one of these slots. Not Aurora Veil, you should probably keep that. But yeah, on the offensive one, Freeze Dry, that's going to be able to hit the water types as well. That would be resisting your Blizzards, and you can do some pretty significant damage with the Freeze Dry as well. Terra Blast, probably over Ice Shard. Ice Shard is like weakness policies and things as well, but you can do some significant damage. Worth considering for sure. However, if you take one thing away from this video, it is that Covert Cloak is absolutely the best item on Alolan Ninetales.